Massive news. Bondi Beach shooting suspect charged with 15 counts of murder after terror attack at Hanukkah event. If I mispronounce this, I apologize profusely. Let's have a look. That's the face of the monster. 15 people died and 41 others, including 4 children, that's awful, were hospitalized after the shooting in Sydney, Australia on Sunday, December 14th. So before we continue reading this, I want to say if any of you is watching from Australia and you have family members or you were attending this, or you know friends of yours that had to deal with this highly traumatic situation, I'm so sorry that this happened to you, and I hope that you and your family are safe. And my heart goes to you. Let's continue. Naveed Akram, 24, has been charged with 15 counts of murder in connection with the shooting at the Hanukkah celebration in Bondi Beach near Sydney, Australia, which occurred on the evening of Sunday, December 14th. 15 people died in the shooting and 14 others, including 4 children, were hospitalized. Surviving suspect Naveed was taken to the hospital in critical conditions, while the second suspect, gunman, his father, really, it was father and son. It was father and son. So clearly the father was some kind of radical nut job extremists. We'll talk about that. I talk about everything here. And he indoctrinated his son. While the second suspected gunman, his father, Sajid Akram, 50, was shot by police and died at the scene, per the BBC. See, that is one of the cases where I say good, because active shooters need to be neutralized by local authorities or by, at this point, good citizens that happen to be there and defend themselves. That's also acceptable, of course, usage of violence. But in general, yeah, that's one of those situations where I don't care. Good, because it's one of those cases where if these people are not neutralized, then they will continue, and the toll will be higher of the innocence that they will claim. And that's one of those situations when you're like, good, I'm glad that law enforcement did their job well, and they were effective. So that's fantastic. Authorities in Australia have charged a 24-year-old man in connection with the shooting at the Hanukkah celebration, which, of course, for those who don't know, it's a Jewish celebratory event. So a lot of these were Jewish, and clearly this was a case of anti-Jewish sentiment and extreme Islamic terrorism. That's what it is. Anyone who tries to tell you otherwise, they're liars. In Bondi Beach, over the weekend, they killed 15 people and injured multiple others. Naveed Akram was named as one of the suspects in the initial stages of the investigation, according to local media cited by the BBC. A New South Wales Police Force spokesperson confirmed in an email to People that Akram was the one charged. The second suspect, gunman, Naveed's father, Sajim Akram, 50, was shot by police and died at the scene, the BBC reported. On Wednesday, December 17, the NSW Police Force confirmed that the NSW, so New South Wales Joint Counter-Terrorism Team, has formally charged a 24-year-old man, allegedly to be one of the 2 gunmen responsible for the Bondi Beach mass shooting that claimed the lives of 15 people, per a news release. So what are they going to do, by the way, in Australia? I don't think they have... I don't think they can execute him. I don't think they have capital punishment. So I wonder, is this going to be like life without possibility of parole? What do you guys think? Should they bring back, should they do an exception and do a capital punishment situation? Who knows? I actually don't know how Australian... Yeah, it's going to be a life sentence, you think? Yeah, probably, yeah. 41 people, including 4 children, were taken to the hospital following the shooting, which occurred at around 6:40 p.m. local time on Sunday, December 14th. New South Wales Police confirmed in Wednesday release that a 24-year-old, okay, we got that. Oh, look at this, wait. Yeah, he has been charged with 59 offenses, including committing a terrorist act. It is absolutely a terrorist act. I've seen people complain about it. I've seen people saying, but why do they call it terrorism? It is terrorism. What are you on about? It is terrorism. That's the definition of terrorism. How people can think it's okay. So that's what you focus on, not the victims. You're focusing on, but why are they saying terrorism? I swear, I saw it on X. 15 counts of murder and 40 counts of causing wounds, grievous bodily harm to a person with the intent of murder. Yeah. Police have confirmed that 2 officers suffered gunshot wounds in the attack. So even officers were hit, obviously, yeah, because of the returning fire. Yeah. Multiple officers exchanged fire with the gunman, and 2 officers, a constable and probationary constable, suffered gunshot wounds, police said in Wednesday release. And I think they are heroes. These officers are heroes. During the incident, one gunman, 50-year-old man, was shot by police and died at the scene. Okay, we know that. The release stated there are currently 20 patients continuing to receive care across several Sydney hospitals, adding those who died are in the process of being formally identified. However, police believe their age range between 10 and 87. 10. Of the 2 injured officers, okay, a constable is in critical but stable condition. Pray for him or her, I don't know. While the probationary constable is in a stable condition. Okay, that's good then. I hope they survive, I really do. Also because the toll of victims tends to increase over the next few days because there are people who still haven't died, but they might succumb to their injuries, of course. Australian authorities have said that the shooting was an act of anti-Semitism, while Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, I refuse to not pronounce it the Italian way, said that the attack was, open quote, an act of pure evil and an act of terror and an act of anti-Semitism. All of that is true per CNN, but it's interesting that they are removing that it's clearly an attack of radical extremist Islam. I wonder why they're not saying that. But you know what they are saying? Obviously, the next aspect we're going to talk about this is the civilian that disarmed one of these. Have you seen the clip going around, by the way? Yeah? So we're going to look into that because that, of course, became... Let me see if they... Strange, they don't talk about it on this. That's very strange. Well, let me see if I can find it on another article then because I do want to cover that. So, let's see. Civilian who disarmed the Bondi Beach shooter. Yeah, they call him the Bondi Beach hero, which, by the way, he is a hero for what he did. But people made it immediately political. So, let's have a look at this. Bondi Beach hero helped disarm terrorists before police mistakenly shot him. Oh, the police shot him? I did not know that. Yeah, he's a hero, I agree. It's the police that shot the guy? Oh, no. Okay, actually, this is a good opportunity to discuss then what to do, because to be honest, I will add a little sort of unplanned section on what to do if you are in a situation, particularly if you're in America, but I would say in general, where you need to exercise self-defense, because there is I would call it a prassi, I don't know how you say that, but a modus operandi, or operandi, if you are in a situation of self-defense. Let's say that you are I'll say it now. Let's say you are in a situation where you're armed, it's your, for instance, constitutional right here in the United States, and then someone tries to attempt of your life, and they try to shoot you, or they start shooting, and then you respond, you return fire, you protect yourself, you protect your family, as you're entitled to do. After the harm or the threat is neutralized, this is critical. After the threat is neutralized, what you need to do is put your weapon away, call 911, or whatever it is, 113 in Italy or in Australia. You need to be the one calling, not a passerby, not maybe a friend of the assailant. You call because you are the victim. So you call 911 and you tell them that you had to defend yourself. You just say, I'm a victim, I was attacked, I feared for my life, I had to defend myself. That's it. Don't say the number of times you shot. Don't say anything. You don't even say you had to shoot someone. Don't say it. And then make sure that by the time the authorities arrive, you do not have a firearm in your hands. They need to know that you are the victim. Because otherwise, offers are responding into a highly stressed situation, and you don't want to be mistakenly misunderstood. Then, you do want to cooperate with law enforcement, but when it comes to the details of what happened, while you are in flight or fight, no, at that point, wait for your lawyer. That's what I'm going to say. You have a good heart, Metatron. I appreciate that. Thank you. So someone in chat is saying that what happened in Bondi Beach has nothing to do with Israel. It's a false flag. I haven't got a clue. But I mean, obviously, they hated Jews. That's obvious. I mean, why would they go to the most Jewish event? I don't think you need a detective for that. We could put allegedly if you want. and wait for the authorities. But I mean, I am going to say pretty obviously they wanted to take out the Jews. But let's talk about the hero now. A man who rushed in to help disarm one of the terrorists who fired at a crowd celebrating Hanukkah in Australia's famous Bondi Beach was mistakenly shot by police and tackled by bystanders, according to a new report. The heroic civilian, who was only described as a Middle Eastern refugee living with his Australian wife and kids, well, then he's not a refugee. He's a legal immigrant if he's living with his wife, whatever. Was in Bondi Beach when Navid Akram and these people, okay, allegedly opened fire at a crowd of Jewish, okay. At least 15 people we know. All right, so let's have a look at the video. Can we even see the video, or can we not show it? I'll try, guys. If the stream gets blocked, you know that it takes usually 2 minutes. I stop watching the video, and then let's see if we can see it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'll have to do. I'll do stills. So this is the shooter, right? This is him tackling. So he's here. He runs towards the shooter. He starts tackling, takes the weapon from the shooter. Impressive. Successfully. And then the shooter goes away. I don't think he fires the shooter, which, I mean, personally, I think he should have, but whatever. I don't know how Australian law works. But yeah, so he was incredible. What he did, look, he's hiding here. The shooter hasn't seen him. He's hiding behind the cars. And then I just want to see if I can show just this. Look at this. Look at that. Impressive. So yeah, he could have died. A true hero. Now, if you are in a situation like that, I don't know if I can encourage you. I mean, if you have a weapon, but if you don't have a weapon, what he did is amazing. And I call him a hero for what he has done. He definitely prevented more damage. But I mean, if you have a family and you don't have any weapon, I wouldn't try that. But I do say that he was amazing. Anyways, what happened online is that people on the left immediately, and I'll say what people on the right did too, but people on the left immediately started saying, see, he's a Muslim hero. Now the racists are going to have a problem with that. And then people on the right started saying, no, he's a Christian. He's a Christian from Libya. Do you think anyone cared about the truth at that point? Do you think anyone cared about the truth? Personally, it muddied the waters. Because now, which one is it? Is he a Christian Libyan? Or is he a Muslim who basically went against his own? Because now everyone is pushing stuff. It would be like me choosing one of the two, not double checking, not taking time to look or wait for the final statement from the authorities, which is what I'm going to do, and just run with the one that I like the most because it helps whatever point that I'm trying to make. I think that's disingenuous. Now, if this guy was a Christian and people tried to push him as a Muslim, then yeah, they're clowns for doing that. But if this guy was actually Muslim, which is a possibility, then great. Obviously, I don't have a problem with the likes of him. And likewise, as I always say, I don't have a problem if a small little family of peaceful Muslims come and live nearby, but they don't hate white people, they don't hate the West, they just have their own religion. Fine, freedom of religion, freedom of speech. I'm not going to have a problem with them. If they're respectful, they don't hate Christians, they don't hate the West, not a problem. But people, I'm going to show you, because I always say I never condemn the innocents, but people like this scum, anyone who tries to cover this or try to say, well, no, okay, you're satanic at that point. This is disgusting. And that's why I will always push for illegal immigration. Because when it's illegal immigration, first, let's not pretend that all migrants are the same. The likelihood is not 100%, but I'm just going to say it. If you have immigrants to America or to England or to whatever the heck, and they come from France or Italy, the likelihood of them being some kind of crazy terrorist who's going to do this is clearly lower, significantly lower, than if you have people who are migrating from the third world or people who are migrating specifically from an Islamic country. And that's just a statement of fact. And if you deny that, you denied fact because you think that the truth is racist. Not to mention, Islam is not a race, so this is not even about being racist or not. Because I can assure you that if this guy, regardless of his genetic makeup and immutable characteristics and phenotypic traits, if he was brought up, adopted into an American family in a freaking, imagine, red state, and he grew up as a practicing Christian, I don't think he would have done this. So, having said that, yes, the likelihood is going to be higher because there is the opposing of Christian values, Western values. Now, does that mean that every single immigrant who is a Muslim is going to be this? No. But because of the fact that there is a question mark on top of the head of these people who are migrating towards our countries, then we need to go through the proper channel, and we cannot let this insane free flow of people that some people on the progressive left for some reasons are pushing now, where they say, no, illegal immigrants, let them in, let everyone in. Then how do I distinguish between the good guy? Again, if this hero, if he is a Muslim, yeah, clearly I'm not going to have a problem with him. He's clearly a hero. But how do I know that it's someone like him, if it's an illegal immigrant, or if it's someone like this? And are you willing, is your idle empathy so high that you're willing to risk your children for this? Because I'm not. And that's why we need only legal immigration. And legal immigration, sometimes people get mad at me on the conservative side when they say, oh, but even legal immigration, it doesn't mean we need to let 10 million. Yeah, obviously, to legally enter a country, you need a visa, like me. So not everyone can enter through the legal channel. You need to have a reason to live in another country, which, by the way, is the case in every country under the sun at a planetary level. So I also wonder why, when it comes to other countries, it's fine to have borders. But when it comes to the West, for some reasons, we need to be like, no, it's nice. And then you get this, and I resent this. And this is what I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. I think it's I know for a fact that people on Reddit are going to misconstrue what I said now and say, see, Metatron hates everyone. Fine, who cares? Twist my words all you want. I think my takes were not extreme in any way. And I think I was just being logical when it comes to this. And fair, in fact. But it's not like Redditors are going to be able to see that, do they? Oh, interesting. So Anonymous told us something about, I guess, Australian law. You're telling us if the disarmer shot the GUN, the firearm, he would have been charged. Yeah, I mean, at that point, I prefer American law and stand the ground, castle doctrine, and all of that stuff, because honestly, but I could imagine that, like, I don't know, I haven't double-checked this, but I can imagine Australian law being like that.